You're watching WXYZ 7. Now, action news at noon.
And we begin today with local breaking news. A police car crashed into a utility pole on Detroit's west side today, sending 2 officers to the hospital. Good afternoon. I'm Robbie Timmons.
And I'm Carolyn. Clifford, thank you so much for joining us. Those officers were trying to avoid a car that police say ran a stop sign when they went crashing right into that pole. Action News reporter Kimberly is live on Detroit's west side with the latest on this. Kim?
Well, Carolyn, thankfully, let me tell you, first of all, those officers are going to be okay. Now, take a look behind me. You can see they're getting ready to tow the police car. Now, they were heading eastbound on Plymouth, and we were initially told that a minivan failed to stop for a stop sign on North Lawn and caused the crash. But now investigators say they aren't exactly sure what happened. We do know, though, that thankfully, just after the cops crashed, a nurse who happened to be passing by rushed over to help.
Yeah, they were hurt. The officers were really hurt. And we did what we could, you know, for them, tried to stabilize them, and their people came and took them away.
Wow. What sort of injuries did it look like they had?
Head injuries.
A nurse who was driving by the accident on Plymouth at North Lawn assisted the injured officers till ambulances arrived. The scout car they were in crashed into the power pole with such force that it snapped the pole and nearly toppled it over. The 2 officers sustained serious head injuries and were rushed to Grace Hospital. We're told the officers were heading down Plymouth on their way to assist police at another scene, but here at North Lawn, investigators say the officers slammed on their brakes to avoid hitting someone else who failed to stop at a stop sign. Again, police are still trying to figure out exactly what happened out here on Plymouth and North Lawn. We are told that the red minivan that was somehow involved left the scene. Again, thankfully, we are told now also that the officers' head injuries are actually minor, and they could be out of the hospital today, but apparently not back to work anytime soon. Now, police are still clearing out the scene right now, and crews from the Department of Public Works are out here getting ready to replace that broken pole over there as well. Reporting live on Detroit's west side, Kimberly Craig, Channel 7 Action News.
Thanks, Kim. On Detroit's east side this morning, a man who kicked in the family's front door wound up dead when the homeowner reached for a gun and fired. Action News reporter Anu Prakash is live on Detroit's east side now with the latest on that story. What happened, Anu?
Well, Robbie, Detroit police tell us there had been an ongoing dispute. They say that the victim was actually threatening the family that lives right in that yellow house for quite some time. It was around 3:30 this morning when Detroit police say a 20-year-old man kicked in the door at this Runyon Street home. The 55-year-old who lives there got his gun and fatally shot him once in the head.
He's a nice man. I'm quite sure he was just defending his home because he speaks, keeps his house up, keeps his yard together, and goes to church every Sunday.
Police say the homeowner and victim knew one another. The victim allegedly had a history of problems with the homeowner's daughter. Police say he had threatened the family yesterday afternoon. Ethel Brooks lives across the street and heard the commotion.
He was across the street just yelling, just back and forth. I don't know what it was about even. He just was arguing, and the young lady that lived over there had, I don't know if she had anything to do with it or not, but she was clearly upset about something, and they had to come get her, and they brought her in the house, and then they just dissipated.
As for the deadly shot that was fired early this morning, police say the 55-year-old who pulled the trigger says he was just protecting his home and family.
Just really hate to see something like this happen over here because it's a very quiet, very nice neighborhood.
Well, police tell us that 55-year-old homeowner is in custody at the 9th Precinct. A warrant is being typed up right now, but it will be up to the prosecutor's office to decide if charges will be filed. Live on the city's east side, Anu Prakash, Channel 7 Action News.
All right, thank you, Anu. Well, police hit the jackpot today when they busted a private lottery run out of a person's home. They discovered more than $2 million in cash. Action News reporter Sayah is live downtown with the story. Ray?
Carolyn, investigators tell Action News they've never seen anything quite like this. They say last month they busted an illegal lottery-style gambling ring, and today they issued arrest warrants for 6 people suspected of running that ring, one that generated a lot of cash. Stacks and stacks of cash, totaling $2.2 million. That's what sheriff's deputies seized in what they call the biggest lottery-style gambling ring they've ever seen.
It was a seizure of $2.2 million, which is a very, very significant seizure, certainly the largest the sheriff's department's been involved in.
According to Wayne County Sheriff Warren Evans, one family spanning 3 generations ran the illegal gambling ring in Detroit and Oak Park. Investigators say the black market bookies ran an operation identical to the legal Michigan State Lottery, with midday and evening drawings. The bookies took bets and paid out winnings based on the same 3- and 4-digit numbers drawn by the state, with profits estimated at $40,000 a week.
It also appears that the operation is one that pays a substantially increased premium over the Michigan Lottery, and obviously it's an illegal business that's not taxed.
Once again, an arrest warrant has been issued for 6 people, among them 5 family members. They are Heloise Johnson. She is 77 years old, from Oak Park. Her daughter, Donna Tony, grandsons Keith Dunlap and Keon Williams, and finally granddaughter Kiana Hurt. Investigators expect all of them to turn themselves in today. What they are thrilled about is the $2.2 million they've seized. If they get a conviction in this case, investigators get to keep that cash to fight crime. Live in Detroit, Ray Sayah, Channel 7 Action News.
A killer who ambushed 2 men at a liquor store is still on the loose, and police need help to track him down. It happened last night at the Cognac Castle on Harper on Detroit's east side. Police say the gunman waited outside for the men and pulled the trigger as they left the store. One of the customers was killed. The other was shot in the hand. And the co-owner of a car dealership is now headed to prison for rape. A judge sentenced Thomas Dietrich today to be locked up for 8 to 15 years. He was convicted in February of raping a 13-year-old girl who was his daughter's friend. Dietrich is a co-owner of a car dealership in Waterford.
The Iraqi capital has been rocked by another large explosion. That tops the latest from Iraq this afternoon. It happened at a small building near 2 heavily fortified hotels used by foreigners. There is no word yet on any casualties. A fragile ceasefire has been in place in parts of Iraq. In Fallujah, the ceasefire allowed aid trucks to enter the city, but violence still continued to unfold across the country. As many as 9 Americans died when this fuel convoy came under attack just west of Baghdad. It was headed to Fallujah. Japan will not pull their troops out of Iraq despite the demands of insurgents holding 3 Japanese civilians hostage. Insurgents are trying to use the kidnappings to put pressure on American allies to pull out of Iraq. And these soldiers took a moment from battle to pray and say goodbye to a fallen comrade. 42 Americans have died in Iraq this week, making it one of the deadliest since the war ended. Security has been stepped up in Israel in preparation for the Easter holiday. Thousands of police officers joined Christian pilgrims as they retraced the final hours of Jesus' life through the city. This year, the Easter holiday coincides with Passover.
Starbucks is getting ready to pour a new cup of coffee to its faithful customers, but you can't buy it at their shops. We'll have that story when we come back in 60 seconds. Starbucks is moving their business from wake-up call to nightcap. The coffee giant is rolling out a coffee liqueur to be sold in bars, restaurants, and liquor stores. It will not be sold in any of the 7,800 Starbucks stores. The coffee liqueur will be test marketed in 2 U.S. cities later this year.
Detroit police need your help to find a missing woman. Myra Mishaw was last seen on March 30th. She's 30 years old and mildly mentally retarded. Police are also concerned because she needs medication for epilepsy. If you've seen Myra or have any information, please contact the Detroit police. And just ahead in our 7 Health Team report, a new study on fish and just how much pregnant women should be eating. Also ahead, hundreds try to grab a hold of 2 teens stranded and flying through the air. We'll explain that one.
This is truly a good Friday for hundreds of needy youngsters throughout metropolitan Detroit. I'm Blake Chenault, and that story's ahead on Action News.
Jim Schnebelt in for Dave Rexroth. A cool, dry day today, but what about the Easter weekend? The Doppler 7 forecast in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
You're watching 7 Action News at noon with Robbie Timmons, Carolyn Clifford, and Dave Rexroth. 7 Action News, Detroit's #1 noon newscast.
We have more local breaking news right now from Highland Park, where a fire truck racing to put out a car fire got into a little bit of a jam. Action News reporter Bill Spencer is live in Highland Park with the very latest. Bill, what happened?
Well, Carolyn, it has not been a good Friday for the city of Highland Park Fire Department. 3 men riding aboard the fire department's newest truck, a $300,000 attack vehicle, fell through a sinkhole about 45 minutes ago. The firefighters were on their way to a simple car fire. They're driving down this alley, and apparently the weight of that vehicle, approximately 4 to 5 tons, caused the pavement below to just give way, and that fire truck is not going anywhere. I mean, it has been stuck. It is stuck in a crater about 3 to 4 feet deep. The good news is none of the firefighters aboard were injured, and they had a backup. They had a second fire truck that made it to the actual fire, and they were able to put out that fire emergency. It was a car that had caught fire in the alleyway. Joining me now live is Ted Cadwell. He is the Director of Public Safety. And Ted, what do you do now with this $300,000 truck stuck in the dirt over there?
Yeah, well, what we're doing now, as you see, we're removing some of the debris that was part of the cause of this accident. There was debris covering an area that had been weakened and ultimately became a sinkhole.
So the guys couldn't see the sinkhole in the pavement. They just drove right into it.
That's correct. And what we're doing is removing some of the debris, and a representative of the manufacturer is coming out. We're going to assess the situation and see the way to best remove this truck without causing any damage to
How about the guys riding aboard? I mean, anybody hurt? Anybody shaken up?
Well, thank God there were no injuries. There was quite an element of surprise when the truck all of a sudden went down about 5 feet.
Absolutely. It scared the heck out of me. Thank you very much. Not the kind of thing you'd expect to happen on your way to a fire. They are going to be working on this, I would think, for at least the next couple of hours, and of course we'll give you more tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock on Action News. For now, reporting live at 2nd Street in Glendale and Highland Park, Bill Spencer, Action News.
Thanks, Bill. On this Good Friday, many Christians across the area are reflecting on the crucifixion of Christ. It's all leading up to Easter Sunday celebrations, and one local charity wants to help children look and feel their best for the holiday. Action News reporter Blake Chenault is live in Warren now with that story. Blake?
Robbie, lots of happy faces here at the Salvation Army. That's because these folks realize with their brand new wardrobes, they will look their best on Easter Sunday, and all of this was made possible thanks to a community that cares. This is definitely a Good Friday for these needy youngsters who get to pick out brand new clothes for Easter Sunday. Oh, that is nice. You like it?
Yes.
Boy, that looks really nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have 2 dresses so far, but I plan on getting more.
Those are pretty nice.
Thank you.
The gym at the Salvation Army Service Center has been turned into a makeshift store with more than 600 items of clothing for some 400 children. It's all part of an event called Dress an Angel, and it's the brainchild of Deborah Johnson.
Big reward is on Easter Sunday, seeing all the kids come into church and all dressed up, and so very proud and pleased to have their own outfit, and they pick themselves.
The dress that I got is green.
Oh, look at that. That is nice.
Yeah, it is.
Volunteers and community donations make the 8th annual Dress an Angel event a huge success. Success that's measured with the number of smiling faces and confident attitudes. Now, the new outfits include everything from underwear to outerwear, and just about the only thing they don't include are shoes, and the Salvation Army hopes to include those next year. Live in Warren, Blake Chenault, Channel 7 Action News.
Oh, such a nice story, Blake. Thank you much. Smiles all around. Good for those kids. Well, it was raining marshmallows in Westland today. Thousands of marshmallows were dropped from a helicopter onto Hines Park. Down below, kids scrambled to collect the fluffy treats, which they turned in for prizes. This was the Wayne County Park System's 20th annual marshmallow drop. And eggs were rolling at the Manoogian Mansion today. Detroit First Lady Carlita Kilpatrick hosted the Easter egg roll, which included an Easter egg hunt, Easter egg decorations, and all kinds of other fun family activities. Hundreds of Detroit kids took part in the festivities. More fun.
And Congressman John Conyers of Detroit is now being investigated by the House Ethics Committee. Conyers' lawyer reportedly confirmed that there is an informal inquiry going on. The panel is apparently trying to find out whether Conyers and his aides ran campaign activities from his congressional office in Detroit. Conyers' lawyer says ethical issues are not always clear-cut, but he says Conyers is cooperating with the investigation.
Topping our 7 Health Team report, a home fertility test can help women know the proper time to conceive. It's a tiny microscope called Fertile Focus. It works with a little dab of saliva on a slide. By looking at it through the lens, it's possible to see if a woman is ovulating. The product is FDA approved and 98% accurate. An EPA study shows pregnant women who eat too much fish expose their developing children to dangerous levels of mercury. Women who ate fish at least twice a week had blood mercury levels 7 times higher than women who hadn't eaten fish in a month. Exposure to even low levels of mercury during pregnancy can cause developmental problems in children. And a lot of people take supplements to improve their health, but they may do you more harm than good. The FDA is investigating right now, but still warns supplements could damage your heart, cause cancer, and even lead to death. So make sure you talk to your doctor before you start taking them. Robbie?
2 parasailors are happy to have their feet back on solid ground after spending 4 hours in the air unable to land. Reporter John Thomas is in Madeira Beach, Florida.
Yeah, what were you thinking when it snapped?
That I was going to die. I really did.
This home video tells the story. The parasail Chelsea Waddell and Teresa Blanford were on had broken away and was flying on its own.
When it snapped in whiplash, what were you thinking?
I went down, pretty much. Like, I was saying that pretty much the whole ride because it was really windy.
Yeah, I fell off, and the rope went around her leg. So
You had to be terrified.
Oh, yeah. Very scared.
But on the beach, people who saw what had happened started to react. Tim Van Dort and one of his sons were 2 of the first to grab the line.
My oldest son is, he's 15, and he grabbed the front of it in front of me, and he was actually lifted right off the ground.
And then more came.
Looking down, seeing those people there.
Was a relief.
Yeah.
Like, there were 100, maybe 100 people. Like, you could see some people running from hotels, running from parking lots.
The parasail operation is run by Get Wet Parasail, or Gator Parasail. Other operators were amazed that they were actually flying on such a windy day.
Were you shocked when you saw them still flying?
Yes, I was. They should have not been out there in the first place.
Are you surprised at what happened?
No.
But everyone was surprised and very pleased at the joyous ending, especially the girls. And they had this message for all those who came to their rescue.
Thank
you. Like,
so much.
Really.
They saved our lives.
They really did.
Where are they happy to be back? That was reporter John Thomas. The 2 girls were on spring break from their Atlanta high school.
Oh, lucky, lucky.
Talking about an adventure.
Oh, yeah. Coming up on Action News, a woman gets the surprise of her life after reading a billboard on her way.
Officers lost control.
Yeah, they were hurt. The officers were really hurt. And we did what we could, for them, tried to stabilize them, and their people came and took them away.
Wow. What sort of injuries did it look like they had?
Head injuries.
A nurse who was driving by the accident on Plymouth at North Lawn assisted the injured officers till ambulances arrived. The scout car they were in crashed into the power pole with such force that it snapped the pole and nearly toppled it over. The 2 officers sustained serious head injuries and were rushed to Grace Hospital. We're told the officers were heading down Plymouth on their way to assist police at another scene, but here at North Lawn, investigators say the officers slammed on their brakes to avoid hitting someone else. And lighting crews are getting ready to replace the power pole that the officers ran into. And we're told that that minivan apparently didn't stick around. It's unclear. They may not have even have known that they caused this accident behind them. And no one else was injured. And thankfully, we're told the 2 officers' injuries are minor. Reporting live on Detroit's West Side, Kimberly, Craig, Channel 7 Action News.
All right, can we have an update on another breaking news story involving a fire truck that got stuck in a sinkhole while it was racing to an emergency? Let's go live to Highland Park, and Action News reporter Bill Spencer. What's the latest, Bill?
Well, Carolyn, the action is taking place right now. You see a tow truck that is removing a bunch of trash right behind me. The reason they're removing that trash is that trash was hiding a giant sinkhole that a City of Highland Park fire truck crashed into this morning. It happened about 45 minutes ago, and this truck, a 50,000-pound attack vehicle, just fell right through the sinkhole as they were on their way to a fire. Firefighters were responding to a car fire. Luckily, it was nothing serious. 3 men riding aboard that vehicle, and I'll tell you what, they got shaken up pretty good when they hit that sinkhole and suddenly fell about 5 feet. They certainly weren't expecting that. Again, the reason they hit that hole is because they couldn't see the hole. It was covered by trash. Right now they're stuck. They're not going anywhere. That is a 50,000-pound truck, and it's going to take several hours to get it out of here. Joining me now live is Ted Cadwell. He's the director of public safety. And Ted, what's the plan now? How do you get the truck out of there?
Okay, we're waiting for right now our contractor to get here. What's going to happen is we're going to assess it, see if it's best to chain it and drag it out, whether we're going to airlift it with airbags, set a plate under it and drive it off. We're not sure yet. Once the representative from the manufacturer gets here, we'll be able to determine it.
It's quite a situation. I mean, that truck weighs 50,000 pounds. It's not like towing out a car.
Yeah, you're right, and with water on it, which is constantly shifting, that's what's going to be the tricky part.
Okay, so you're going to be here for a while.
We're going to be here for a while.
Once again, all your men okay? The 3 guys riding aboard?
Yes, everybody's okay. Once again, thank God, there were no injuries at all.
Okay, thank you very much, Ted. One last thing. The ironic part is that is the City of Highland Park's newest firefighting vehicle. They just got it 6 months ago. It's worth $300,000. So this is the last thing anybody wanted to see happen. Luckily, no one was injured. Reporting live in Highland Park, Bill Spencer, Channel 7 Action News.
That is the good news, Bill. Thank you much. Well, some people will go to great lengths to pull off the perfect proposal. Well, one local man decided to turn an electronic construction sign into his own personal message board and pop the question. Action News reporter Bill Proctor has the story from Birmingham.
Northbound Woodward Avenue motorists may not have noticed, but this was not your everyday detour sign.
The first thing I saw was "with all my heart," and I'm thinking, that's not move to the right.
What it turns out Tracy was moving too fast to see said, "Tracy, I love you with all my heart. Will you marry me?" Signed Eric, who this morning got dressed in the street.
Oh, you look like a little brown rat.
She likes teddy bears, so I'm dressed up in a teddy bear costume. So it'd last forever, and hopefully this is the one time, the only time I'm going to do this.
Oh, she is going to be so excited. I've known about this for a few days, and it's like been killing me not to tell her.
So, with the balloons and signs and great weather in place, the bear met Tracy in the parking lot just as she arrived for work. Both their parents were there to celebrate, too.
He's the first one of our 3 children to become engaged, and we're just ecstatic.
I know he's going to treat Tracy really well, because we already told him we'd break his legs if he didn't.
Eric and Tracy say they plan to marry in July of next year and honeymoon in Australia, maybe Mexico.
Yes, he's very romantic.
Romantic?
Yes, and a little different. No, I'm just kidding. I was kidding. In a good way.
Thank you.
In a good way.
In Birmingham, Bill Proctor, Channel 7 Action News.
Oh, what a nice proposal. You did good. You did good. No, that's great. Well, coming up in Action News, they're the nation's hottest newlyweds, and now they've got a new gig going. We'll talk with Nick and Jessica live coming up.
And later, what you don't want to get your children for Easter. It's all ahead on Action News at noon. We'll talk pets.
The Cry of the Alamo will be heard in theaters this weekend as the story about the brave men who defended the Texas mission hits the big screen. Action News reporter Eric Smith says it's one of 4 new movies now showing. Check it out.
I'd like to ask each of you what it is you value so highly that you are willing to fight and possibly die for.
The Alamo tells the true story of a group of Texans who defended the mission for almost 2 weeks despite being badly outnumbered.
In the Alamo, we will show the world what patriots are made of.
Remember the Alamo! The Alamo stars Dennis Quaid and Billy Bob Thornton and is rated PG-13.
I just vacuumed this rug.
In The Whole 10 Yards, Bruce Willis returns as retired hitman Jimmy the Tulip, along with the nervous dentist Matthew Perry.
You're afraid of everything, Les.
That is so not true.
Jimmy, don't shoot. It's me. It's on.
I know. Laffle Gogolak was at my house. They know you're alive. Are you wearing bunny slippers?
The Whole 10 Yards, rated PG-13.
I will always remember the girl next door. Whoa. Oh, my. She's so hot.
What channel, dude?
beautiful girl moves in next door to a high school student.
Someone's gonna make him do things he never thought he could do.
Dude. He discovers she is a film star of sorts.
That's not her. Yeah, it is.
The girl next door is rated R.
Just admit you're stupid and don't know what you're talking about.
I'm stupid and I don't know what I'm talking about.
Take that. Hold your tongue, Ella.
Oh, I really need to find my godmother and get her to take back the curse.
In Ella Enchanted, Anne Hathaway runs into a handsome prince.
Charmant?
No, please, call me Char.
Your girlfriend doesn't mind being left alone?
I don't have a girlfriend.
Oh?
I have many.
Oh.
I'm kidding. You shouldn't believe everything you read in medieval tea.
Ella Enchanted is rated PG.
Well, Easter is Sunday, and I didn't realize that parents are still giving their little ones some bunnies and baby chickens, and that's really not such a good idea for the animals. And Samantha Murphy is here right now, and of course she brought a friend with her, this little bunny named Peanut, and we're going to kind of discuss why giving the animals, the bunnies and chickens at this time is just not a good idea.
Certainly. I mean, rabbits can make wonderful, wonderful pets. They can be litter trained, but they're not good for children under the age of 5. There's a lot of work involved. They need to be socialized every day, special diet. Unfortunately, a lot of times people think little rabbits are adorable and little chicks for Easter time, and while that's true, we prefer that they give the fake one.
Yeah, right.
Because unfortunately, oftentimes about 2 months after Easter holidays, we do find that a lot of rabbits like this little guy are surrendered back to our shelter because people don't realize the extent of care that's involved with taking care of a rabbit, and chicks are not appropriate as pets.
Well, and that's actually what happened to Peanut, this little rabbit, is that he was cute, and then the kids didn't want to take care of him anymore, and
he
now
was
he's
surrendered
back at the shelter.
Yep, and little Peanut, he's 2 years old. He's been neutered. He's a Netherland dwarf rabbit, and he'll live to about 8 years old. So people also have to think that the little rabbits, they have a long lifespan in
Now, we're
general.
just saying not for Easter, not these impulse buying where you buy a chicken or you buy a bunny or something like that, but after Easter, and we want to say that rabbits actually, he is actually posing for the camera. We want to say that rabbits actually make a good pet
because they're very loving, they're very affectionate, but it takes a little bit more work than maybe a cat or dog. I mean, all animals need some training. They need lots of care and lots of attention. Ideally, they should be taken out of their cage at least an hour a day and socialized, and not just left in a cage to fend for themselves. They do need a lot of attention, but they are very, very loving animals, and he's just a sweetie.
And about housebreaking. I mean,
yes, they can be litter trained. Absolutely.
Which is, I didn't realize, I guess, that they were that smart.
Oh, they're very, very intelligent.
Yeah.
Quite bright.
So they're cuddly, and I guess they're how would you compare them like to a dog or a cat, which we're normally used to?
Well, just they require a very different diet. Sometimes you have to be really careful to make sure that there's a veterinarian that can care for a rabbit. Not all our vets are prepared to take care of a rabbit, so there is more precautions involved. They love to choose. You have to be very careful that you don't leave them unattended in front of electrical wires. You might have some problems.
Okay.
So there's some training involved.
And I know that you've probably fallen in love with Peanut as I have.
Adorable.
So you could get Peanut maybe Monday, maybe after Easter or something like that, and just not. And here's a telephone number for you. Peanut's at the Rochester Hills Shelter, 248-852-7420. And I guess you could probably get Peanut, this weekend if you wanted to do that.
If you've been looking for a rabbit and you have children that are a little older that are prepared to take care of them, absolutely encourage you to come down and adopt them.
Yeah, because just don't do the impulse buying. Realize that this is a live animal. They need a lot of attention, a lot of care. Oh, Peanut loves that Easter basket. He's going right for the basket. Thanks, Samantha. Happy Easter. And we'll be right back.
On Sunday, MTV's favorite newlyweds will try to spread their television success beyond the cable box. ABC will air a variety show special starring Jessica Simpson and her hubby, Nick Lachey. It's called the Nick and Jessica Variety Hour, and joining us today from Los Angeles are the stars of the show. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey. How are you?
Very good. Thank you.
Hey, we see you everywhere. You're so popular right now. You're in magazines, on television, you name it, and you all are there. So is it weird being newlyweds and having basically your entire lives out there, or is it fun?
No, it's fun. I mean, it's definitely more than it's ever been. But I mean, ever since we started dating, we were in the business. So 5 years now, we've had people watch our relationship. So it's not really that weird.
So you've watched it. They've watched it blossom then.
That's
exactly.
Right.
Okay, we're going to look at a quick clip from the variety show right now, I guess, with baseball great Johnny Bench, and then we'll let you comment.
Okay.
The thing you have to remember, and this is the most important thing I tell everybody, is you want to keep your eye on the ball and make solid contact.
You still who got the stroke.
What the hell did he do? Can we see it again, Johnny? I don't know if I got it yet.
Yeah. Just let your hips explode and drive through the ball.
Looks like a lot of fun. Was it fun making the variety hour?
It was. We had so much fun. I mean, we had so much to do in 4 days. It was crazy. I loved all the outfits, and we had amazing. We got to sing with some of our idols, and it was so much fun to be able to work together. And people normally think that we work together all the time, and we really don't, because newlyweds, that's just them following us around in our everyday life. So it was really great to perform together.
So, Nick, what's next for you guys after the variety hour? What's the next big plan?
Well, we both are doing pilots for ABC. Jessica just taped hers this week. I taped mine in a couple weeks. So we're busy with the television stuff, and you know, we're exploring some film opportunities. And it's just we're so blessed right now, and there's so many you know, positive things happening to us in our lives, both personally and professionally.
Oh, great. Well, you both seem like really nice people, so I wish you good luck in your marriage and out in Hollywood.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we'll be watching your variety hour. You can see it Sunday night at 9 right here on Channel 7. So good luck to you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Happy Easter.
And those people in the audience, they were plants. They weren't hurt by that baseball also. Well, topping today's entertainment news, Mulder and Scully find the truth out again about their relationship. David Duchovny says that a second X-Files movie is in the works. Plans are still in the early stages, but Duchovny says the show's creator, Chris Carter, has signed off on a premise. Make it Will and Grace and baby makes 3. It's a baby boy for series star Deborah Messing. It's the first child for Messing and her husband, Daniel Zellman.
Yeah, she couldn't even continue taping. She was getting so tired for the baby, but congratulations to them. So, Jim, what are we going to have this weekend for Easter weather-wise?
Well, I think we're looking for a dry, cool weekend, much like this afternoon will be, dry and cool, although it's much warmer than it was this morning, already up to 51 in Detroit. Not quite that warm elsewhere. It's still in the mid to upper 40s in some of the northern suburbs, 46 in Port Huron and 48 over in Windsor. Around the Great Lakes, it's fairly chilly, especially in the UP. Up in Marquette, we're at 37 right now and 51 down in Chicago. Some clouds and some rain showers in northern Michigan early this morning, even a little bit of snow up around Traverse City. These clouds are coming southeastward toward Detroit. We'll see a few of those overhead this afternoon, so no more wall-to-wall sunshine. But still, just a partly cloudy afternoon, no rain or snow in our forecast. And then it looks like that will carry right on through the weekend with plenty of sunshine, especially in the mornings, and then a few clouds around in the afternoons through Sunday. Today, partly cloudy, a breeze out of the northwest 5 to 10, 54 degrees our afternoon high, and that makes today the warmest of the next 5. Saturday and Sunday cool down somewhat. Saturday's high only 47, Sunday 46, starting out at the freezing mark, and then a chance for rain and snow mixed in on Monday and Tuesday, with highs dropping down into the low 40s. But today, lots of sunshine, 54. How's that sound, Robbie?
That sounds great. Thanks. And on this Good Friday, there's a new controversy involving Senator John Kerry and his Catholic faith. The Archbishop of Boston, Sean O'Malley, recently warned that pro-choice politicians should not even dare to come before him for communion. Well, Kerry is a Catholic who supports abortion rights, and he will attend Easter services on Sunday. It's an issue that has the Vatican and conservative Catholics quite concerned.
We believe that reception of Holy Communion is receiving the body and blood, soul and divinity of Jesus Christ himself. And to receive it unworthily, it is a grave sin.
I fully intend to continue to practice my religion as separately from what I do with respect to my public life. And that's the way it ought to be in America.
John Kennedy was the only Catholic president in American history. If John Kerry is elected, he would be the second.
Frail health and security concerns are not stopping Pope John Paul from carrying on with Holy Week traditions. Today, the Pope heard confessions from 11 Catholics of various nationalities. He then led an afternoon service at St. Peter's Basilica, and this evening, a procession to Rome's Colosseum, symbolizing Christ's path to his crucifixion, is scheduled.
And coming up on Action News, you've heard of log rolling. Well, in this case, it's log riding. We'll take you to Japan for this very unusual religious celebration.
Also ahead, it is all or nothing for this man who's letting everything ride in Vegas. We'll explain it to you when we come right back. Don't go away.
A British man says when he walks away from the roulette table this Sunday, it will be with everything or nothing. Ashley Revell is betting everything he owns on one spin of the roulette wheel. He won't even own the clothes he's wearing when he makes the bet. He says he figures at 32 years old with no family to support, the time is right for the ultimate bet. So what happens, though, if he loses?
I can't even think about that because that's too horrific to contemplate. But, you know, I feel lucky on this one. I feel like I'm going to win. It's got to happen.
Well, also, there may be a reality show in the works, too, for that. Revell says he hasn't decided what his bet will be. He just hopes inspiration strikes him when he walks up to the table.
I bet. Well, here's your 7 So Scoop for this Good Friday afternoon. Coming up next on All My Children, Tad prepares to duke it out with David over Babe as Kendall lures Greenlee into a deceitful trap. Then at 2 on One Life to Live, Marcy and Michael share a romantic evening together as Catherine confides in John that she came to Landview to find Paul. And then stay tuned to General Hospital to see what happens when Mary shies away from Nicholas's affections and see if Jax will tell Sonny about his affair with Sam. And you can catch all the drama next, beginning at 1, right here on 7. Sounds juicy.
Well, today on Oprah, red carpet outtakes, what you did not see behind the curtains at the Kodak Theater. That's today on Oprah. It should be fun, starting at 4 right here on 7. And then on Action News at 5, the toddler who is getting a head start on his career in business. He is already making a name for himself. The little guy is one of the many news stories you'll see tonight on Action News at 5.
Our picture of the day comes from a religious festival in Japan. It is held every 7 years as a way for the people to reconnect with nature. Men try to ride 50 feet long fir trees down the mountain. Each tree weighs more than 10 tons. The trees are symbolic gods and set up outside the Grand Shrine after the festival, which runs through April 11th. And you know what? If you fall off that sucker and get hit,
killed.
Oh, yeah, that's a, you know. Oh. I know it's part of their religious ceremony, but woo,
I bet emergency crews are on hand.
Right.
Coming up on Action News, move over, kids, because this dog has all the right moves on her skateboard. We'll be right back.
The 7 Action News Health Team.
You want to live healthier, and we want to help.
Watch Carolyn, Clifford, and Joanne Purton on 7 Action News, on your side.
And we want to leave you today with Sabrina, a dog that just loves to skateboard. Sabrina and her owner, Jeanette, appeared this morning on Good Morning America. Her love of skateboarding began when she saw Janet's 2 kids playing on skateboards and joined in on the fun. Now she's got her own agent, attorney, and soon her own line of skateboards and probably dog food and gold shoes to go along with it, you know?
Yeah. She has to get it just the right spot. Did you happen to notice that?
And she even got it when they were standing around it, and she'd dig up under them and get the skateboard out so she could still do it, so she must really love it. Anyway, thank you for watching Action News at noon. Enjoy your Easter weekend. I'll see you at 5.
This has been a presentation of 7 Action News, on your side. More people in Michigan get their news from 7 Action News than any other source.